pleasant good morning, one and all. Welcome to the Wednesday's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Welcome, one and all. Hope you had a good night. Hope you're looking forward to a productive day and for a productive rest of the week. Welcome. And as you would say, once you come on, you have an obligation to share the live, let people know that we are on. We're going to have pace and power this morning. Pace and power. There are so many things to talk about. And therefore, I encourage you to share the live. I see we have large numbers of you who are in the schoolyard this morning waiting for the class to get started. We are going to get started in a short while. But share the live. Give us a thumbs up to show your appreciation. And, we scheduled a program just after 8 this morning, and the schoolyard was immediately flooded with youth students. And again, I say, I thank you for the enthusiasm that you have shown. This program is growing exponentially. Every day you go on YouTube, thousands and thousands of viewers. And this getting under the skin of those persons. They don't want to hear the truth. They do not want to hear the truth, and therefore we are committed to coming here and telling you the truth. So we're going to tell you some more truth this morning. We're going to bring the information to you. My colleague, Mr. Conway, CC, as he's familiarly referred to, is already in the studio, waiting, raring to go. And therefore, I am also here waiting to give you the good news. Again, I say, share the live. I encourage you again to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Once you subscribe, hit the notification button. You're going to get the notification when the program is scheduled. And also go on Facebook and you like the page on Facebook and you'll get a similar notification. This morning, as I've said, the program was scheduled just after 8. And people calling to find out if there's no program on. Well, since yesterday, I did schedule a program for 11 o'clock this morning. So let me understand this. If for any reason there's not going to be a program, we are going to let you know. And I should say, if on the rare occasions we don't have a program, we are going to let you know. And the only way we can let you know is by you subscribing to the channel on YouTube, hit the notification button, and follow the page on Facebook. I encourage you to go there and do that now. I know a lot of you who are regulars. When I see the reports, when I see the analytics, some of you have not subscribed. We compliment you. We thank you for following us live. But you also need to subscribe so that the page can grow even faster. And as I've said, this is a good day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We must rejoice and be glad in it. We must give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. So many persons are not that fortunate. And I did not get to post the main subject today. When I sent out the notification, the incident had not occurred yet. I am referring to the arrest of what we call the WPA executive member, Kidaki Amsterdam, who also hosts a talk show, Guy in the Morning, I think the name is. He was arrested yesterday. We're going to go into that in details because we see statements being made by the police and I see some comments on social media. So we're going to attempt to clarify issues, especially as it relates to police action, because that is what we know, police action. And we are going to tell you about it. But before we get started, we're going to do the normal roll call, which is important. We have gathered by now that roll call is important. After roll call, then we're going to make the announcements, and then we're going to go into these main subjects that we have to deal with today. And today, we're not going to allow time to constrain us. We are going to make sure that that subject, as it relates to Mr. Amsterdam being arrested, is fully ventilated. So sit, grab your seatbelt, buckle up, get your Cokes and your popcorn, and be ready for this ride. Be ready. And I don't know, let me explain immediately in terms of the comments on the YouTube page. I can't explain what happens, but I know when we scheduled, there were some people on. And then when I look back into it a while ago, the top 20 persons who came on this morning are no longer in the comments. I don't know how that happens. Something to do with the platform, I guess. I don't know if it has to do with the numbers. I don't know. But what I have been doing, once I log on, I make a note of the people who are there. So even though you won't see them in the chat now. I have a record of those people who came on this morning. And the first man to come on this morning at 8:23 was the man from BV, George Calder. George, my countryman, he came on first. And the same time, a lot of people came on at the same time. Evangelina came on then. Joan Robertson came on. Isabella came on at that time. Anthony Bradshaw came on then to the man from Petersall. John Cummins came on shortly after. Wayne Liddell from the UK, he came on at 8:24. Doreen Green, my squad mate from Canada, she came on at that same time. Tessa from Georgia, she came on at 8:25. Vibert Lawson from New York, Brooklyn, he came on at that same time. Raul George, Raul came on at 8:25. Then we had Floyd tap in 8:26. Derek Trotty came on at 8:26. Then Magnell came on at 8:27. Evelyn came on at 8:27 too. Then we had Ivan, Danny came on at 8:27. Then we have another Daniels, Ryan. No, sorry. We next was Troy. Troy Roberts came on at 8:27. 8:28, we had Rhonda Chance. She was followed by Seth Red. And then Ann Taylor came on at 8:29. And those persons are no longer listed on the chat. The first person listed on the chat who came on also at 8:29, and I'm putting up it, is Mary. She was followed by Orion out of the UK, followed by Carlton, my squad mate, 9430. He is from Brooklyn. Then we have the Sauls, Brian at 8:30, Courtney at 8:30 as well. Ulrich came in, Ulrich, from the man from Crane Housing Scheme, he came in at 8:31. John came in next. Then Lynette, followed by Hetta. And then we had Aileen. Sean Robinson, ex-sergeant, came in there at 8:33. Clive out of the UK came next. Then we had Bort. Francis Keith, the man from Millie Damashana, came in at 8:34. Orin came in after him. The man from Linden. Well, I suspect, Barlett, because you are in the hills, you are not flooded out. Because we understand in Linden is under tremendous flood at this time. But you say you're from the hills, so you might be safe. Barbara is here. Walterine, Desiree, and Desiree came in. She's from Georgia, came in at 8:42. And the man all the way from Paris came next. Clifton came in. Then we have our secretary. Then he's at 8:43. Patricia, and this is Patricia Gravesandi. She's from New Jersey. The original black man came in at 8:45, followed by Earl. And Earl is saying that he was here on the last occasion, but he forgot to register. No problem, my brother. Registration is good to make sure that your presence is known. And then we have Akko came in, followed by Cecile, followed by Paul from Canada. He was followed by Winston, and Winston is from California. Then we are Speaking Truth to Power. Then we have Old Police, Vibert Smith, an old detective. He was followed by Felicia. Then we have Ezzy, followed by Organized Chaos. Then we had the lady from West Dem, Pamela, followed by Fergus. Then Clarence. After Clarence, it was the next Patricia Ateli. And she saying she's, Free Kadaki, I'll be saying she's from Philadelphia, Patricia. Then Leon, next, he's from Brooklyn. Then we had Lynette from the UK is here. Jacko from Georgia. Kay came in next. And she's happy to be in the land of the living. We all are. Then Jakey from Maryland is here. My squad mate from Arizona came next. Delta 9 Media is here with us. Carville is another squad mate of mine. Then we have Samuel, followed by Lucius. Lucius is from Maryland as well. Then the one and only Rohan came in next. Mr. G is here. And then we have Tallulah is here. He's talking about whatever the credible information. We're going to give it to you. He was followed by Morton. Then we followed by Terrence, the man from Canada, Old Police 9795. Maury is in the house. And we're looking forward to see you. What you say? Looking forward to see today's session. You're looking forward to today's session. We're not going to miss out. What you say? You're coming from the gym and you're looking forward to seeing me there. Well, our hours are different. I was at the gym up to yesterday, but we have different hours. George is here, and George is from Brooklyn. Princess Earl from Lamar Springs in the house. Emerson from Canarsie, that is also in Brooklyn, is here. Jean is in the house. Queenie, I know Queenie is also from Brooklyn. Sandra, then we have Stephen, Vibart, White, the East Bank man, is here. Then Rastaman came in next. We had Tia Ben 123. Anchor Paul came in shortly after that. And then we had Anthony Jarvis, another Vibart, John is in the house. He's from, well, he's a free New Amsterdam, Kadaki, Amsterdam. We're going to talk about that. Reggie, good to see you making comment, my brother. I know you don't miss a program. Michael is here, and Michael is also from Brooklyn. We have Monica came in next. After Monica, we have Colin. He is from Queens. Then we have Leon, followed by Kerry. Kerry is from Maryland. Then we have Denise. Then Gail. See the numbers we're talking about? Glendis, David, Brennan is here. I know Brennan said recently he was in Guyana on vacation. Hope you enjoyed. Then we have Dav. He said he don't miss it, but he don't. The second time he in the chat, so he's watching, but he don't normally make a comment, which is all good. Then we have Aubrey from Ontario, Everett from Texas, the man Fort Valley, Starby Detective is here, and the one and only Selwyn. Selwyn came in and he said good morning to Paul and Clinton. Same to you, Selwyn out of Canada. Juliet is here next, and then after Juliet we had Robbie, my old lecturer from UG. Then Gary, followed by Melville, followed by Grantley's, another Saul, Grantley Saul. Then we had Clay, Maxwell Beaton, 11704. Then we had Chilo, Jason McDonald, and Jason is from Chicago, Illinois, Chicago. Dexter McAllister is here. Then after Dexter, we have Devian in the house. Marlin came next. Ronald is here. Nigel followed. And out of the UK, next was Winston, followed by Raheem, followed by Malcolm. Then we have Albert. I can't recall seeing Albert before. Welcome, my brother. Karen is here. Then we also had Carl, Desiree, Dorette. Umi came next. That Umi was followed by Moses. Then Sherwin. Then we have another regular, Henrik, followed by Gretel. And then when we went live, those were the people on YouTube. When we went live, the first person there was Lennox. He was followed by Edward. Then Carlton, who don't ever miss a program. Bevan, Danny, out of Trinidad. Lynette Goodman from Barbados. Kibron Singh. And the list goes on and on and on. So again, we say we do this roll call to let you know that when we tell you that we have dozens and scores and hundreds and people in the schoolyard, we present you with the evidence. This is evidence-based. This is not them thing will come and tell us out of Nancy's story and so on. This is evidence-based. We present you with the evidence. And for some announcement, let me give you again, let me pull me my note here to tell you of the announcements we have to make. I think one of the first announcements, I know we always start with these sad ones, is the funeral arrangement, as we told you, for the late Sergeant Jeff Jones, who will be, the service will be tomorrow in Queens. Tomorrow, the 30th, Thursday, the Seventh Days Adventist Church, 12002, 140th Street, Jamaica, Queens, from 6 to 9. So those persons who are in the area, you know, Jones, he was a very prominent police cricketer. He represented SE3 well. His service will be tomorrow. I don't know about the burial arrangement. They have not said. And then tomorrow, too, we have the funeral arrangement for Mr. Oscar Clark, for PNC Stalwart. I don't have the timings here, but I know it's at St. George's Cathedral. It's not tomorrow, Friday. He's on Friday, sorry, my mistake. Friday. And then we don't have any birthday greetings to tell you about. But let me tell you quickly about I wanted to let you know that Ulrich and others, that the Cricket World Cup T20 has already started, you know, the warm-up games. The warm-up games have started. Games are playing in, I think, the US and Trinidad. So the World Cup is the T20 World Cup in the West Indies and the US. That tournament has actually started already. But let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to go into some issues. CC, my brother, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know you are all primed and ready to go. Welcome to you, my brother.
Good morning. Happy to be in the land of the living to do God's work. I'm prime and ready to go, as you said.
Yeah, you're primed and ready to go. And let me get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about before we go into this main issue, which is the arrest of Kidaki. You know, another prisoner is found hanging in a police lockup. This time, I think it's Wim lockup. This is something published on the 26th. And it says murder suspect found hanging in Wim police lockup. And they start out by telling us the Office of Professional Responsibility, OPR, is investigating the suspected hanging. Hear what they're saying, this is what they're saying. They're investigating a suspected hanging. Yesterday, that would have been on the 25th, of 53-year-old prisoner Sunjit Ramotar, also known as Mono. He from 72 Letter Kenny Village, Quarantine Borbis, while in custody at the Wim police station. They say Ramotar, his farmer, was arrested and taken to police custody at the Wim police station on May 22nd, pending an investigation into the alleged murder of Joshua Ardat, also known as Money. Let me bring in CC. I get a call coming through. Sorry, the call finished. Also known as Ardat. Right. So, and I go on to say, hear this part. Police then say he was taken to Wim police station on the 22nd of May. And they say sometime this murder occurred between the 18 hours on the 21st and 8 hours on the 22nd at Auckland Cultivating Dam. And here what they go on to say, reports are that Ramutar was informed by the police while in custody yesterday at approximately 09:45 hours that he had been charged with the offense of murder committed on Ardat, and that he was required to appear in the Wim Magistrate Court on Tuesday, May 28th. The charge was also read to him. Then they go on to say, however, at approximately 4:55 hours yesterday afternoon, a rank on duty went to the lockups to check on prisoners, and discovered Ramatar hanging by his neck with a piece of his t-shirt that he ripped and tied on the grill of the lockups. When investigators examined the body, they discovered compression marks from the jersey around his neck. He was taken to the Port Moran Hospital and so on. But there's so many things wrong with this. And, we know that to do the statement analysis and the analysis of these releases that they're giving you. They say that it is a suspected hanging. So maybe he could have died from some other cause because it's a suspected hanging. And this part that struck me, to say the man was taken into custody on the 22nd. And he was found hanging, I think, on the 25th. You know what it is? And hear what it says. Report that Ramata was informed by the police while in custody yesterday at approximately 9:45 hours that he had been charged with the offense of murder committed on Ardat, and that he was required to appear at the Wim Magistrate Court on Tuesday, the 28th of May, to answer the charge. Well, I find that very strange. Because normally, the normal practice, if the police can tell you that you're charged, until they read the charge, you're straight to court. Police don't tell you that you're charged and then continue to keep you in custody. Let me understand this thing clearly. I mean, Mark Ramatar, the corporate communication unit man, who is a civilian, you know nothing about policing, so you can write this crap. But police don't, well, let me put it this way. Hardly ever would the police charge you, read the charge to you, and leave you in the lockups. For the time the charge is read to you, many times the charge is not even read. You're straight to the magistrate court, and the magistrate can read the charge to you. What Mark Ramatar wants us to know, that the report said that Ramatar was informed of the police. So the police told him while in custody that about 9:45 hours that he had been charged with the offense of murder on Ardat, and that he was required to appear in the Wim Magistrate Court on Tuesday. That's yesterday. So they tell you since Friday or something that, hey, you get charged with murder, you got to go to court on Tuesday. I say, that is Nancy's story. That don't happen. I know what they're trying to do. Let me tell you, let me enlighten you. It is clear that they kept this man in custody for more than the 72 hours. Or the 72 hours would have elapsed before they took him to court. So they're telling us that, hey, they tell you we charge you. And so therefore, we fulfill that requirement for him to be charged or taken to court before 72 hours. But the OPR, to the man in charge of OPR, I want to say this to you. In an investigation of this nature, the first thing you have to check that if it is that the charge was read to the prisoner last Friday, where are the records to support that? Because if you're going to read the charge to the prisoner before you take him to, when he has to go to court along 2-3 days down the road, entries have to be made in the appropriate books, including the station diary, including the station charge sheet. Entries would have been made that the prisoner was, the charge of murder was read to the prisoner, blah, 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 blah. Those things have to be made. So the first thing OPR should look for is to see if these records are there. And I know, having said that, because they listen, they got also to forge that, they might very well also, but it's not easy to forge a diary. It is not easy to forge a diary in particular. Maybe the charge sheet you might be able to do a little jiggery-poggery, but the diary being in use so frequently, it is not easy to go back now and forge the entry. You got to recreate a whole new diary. So that is the first thing they have to do. But again, then the man hang himself in the t-shirt by the man. Hear what they say? The man piece of his t-shirt, you know, Ramatar they found him hanging by his neck with a piece of his t-shirt. Again, you want to tell me a one hang himself, he get on a t-shirt, he gonna tear off a piece to hang himself with? Why you didn't take the whole t-shirt? What you want for wear it when he come back in the new life? Why you didn't take the entire t-shirt and wrap take it around your neck and hang himself? But you said he take a piece of t-shirt. You know, these people just tell you some story and they don't come with Marie. They don't tell you it's a Nancy story they're about to tell you. And Ramatar know, this Mark Ramatar, he know these things, so that's why he can write this crap and give it as press release. And people believe people are stupid enough to believe this thing. A man in the lockup decide, well, hey, this is it. I can hang myself. I use him a t-shirt. The man take his time and tear off piece of his t-shirt to hang himself. That is what you want us to believe. They say you ripped, he took a piece of t-shirt that he ripped and tied on the grill. Mr. Conway, explain this to me and the audience, man. Explain this Nancy story to us, please. Go ahead.
Well, I used to say, you know, when I went to school in the Magic Man to do magic, he said, hocus pocus, monkey skull, 1, 2, 3. Perhaps I should start like that. Hocus pocus, monkey skull, 1, 2, 3. So if it is suspected that he hung himself or a suspected suicide, well then a possibility that it could be it was murder, could have been that the police had murdered him. They up to now then they're not certain. And then Marco hung himself with a piece of his shirt, Paul. A piece of his shirt. That song right. And as you mentioned, one if they have the records, and I know from what I learned from 7464 Smith, who retired as superintendent, who was a detective corporal in my days at Myconi police station. If there's an entry inside there, a blue entry that is murder, and you charge a man, you make another entry in the crime book, and if the number was 36, this other entry can be 36B, and you put a relic entry to show that the man was charged. So I know they have all of that. But the whole thing is sickening, and it look like cover up all the way. And then, are they learning? Are there any lessons to be learned to what happened at Lethem, where they put a man with bare shots in the lockups at Lethem, and the man hang himself with the underpants? They are learning those things, you know, that there are lessons to be learned, and there will be lessons to be learned from this one at Wim, and those things that I used to make them into case studies, and use them as training exercises so that things won't happen. And then if we look forward, you know, in our days, Paul, we know that we used to do environmental scanning. We used to scan it both internally and externally. You hear a man and let him hang himself in the lockups. We know policing does go wrong. We know it might happen in Bobby. So you put up your procedures, make sure your procedures are in order to prevent what happening. That's how we do that, and you look out for each other. and commanders would talk by this man hang himself in the lockers because so you would on the other one will ensure that you put systems in place to negative a man would hang himself. But then here OPR investigating. And let me tell you a story. About 3 weeks ago, I got a report from Borbis where an corrupt transaction with agent with the police, the patrol was about to take place within hours. So I called the detective officer. I think his name is his name, and I could talk straight. I'm not lying. And I reported to him about the corruption that was supposed to take place. I know, you know what a detective officer told me? Sorry, I got to report it to the OPR. Well, I hit the roof. I said, you are the detective officer. You are in charge of region number 6. And you got to, I giving you information about corrupt transaction that's about to take place with you with your ranks, the patrol ranks, and you telling me that you got to report to OPR, and OPR, I think the head of the OPM boys was some sergeant or corporal. So the things when they're shouting OPR and OPR and OPR, there's where the detective officer telling me that he's going to report to OPR. But their custom here in the commissioner say report to OPR, or the public say that OPR investigating. So the thing has filtered down to the detective officer. But it's sickening, and I don't know if they will do any proper investigation because they don't start on the wrong foot, start cover up, say that things suspected, and man hang himself with a piece of jersey. Nonsense, Paul. I don't want to believe them what they're saying.
Nonsense, or as I like to tell my man Nyland Welch, you said nonsenseness. Nonsense. And that story that you you just told about the detective officer, that is an indication, that is a symptom of of what is going on in the force. Here you have a detective officer in charge of a police division being given information about a corrupt arrangement, and he, the officer, don't know what he has to do because it is in responsibility there and then to have taken action in them. But the action is to, we can pass it to OPR. We can pass it. That is incompetence. And perhaps he can empathize with those corrupt people as well. You know, pass on. I, as commander in B division, a commander in A division, reports came to me that people are going to be involved in corrupt transaction. I spared the action. I find money and mark money and give them. Even when I was at West Demerara, there was such a matter. Policeman get jailed for it. At the time at West Demerara, I was the second in command. When I was in A division, I was in command. When I went Bobby's in command, police get trouble. And not that you say you're taking pleasure in giving police trouble, but if they're corrupt, they have to be dealt with. But all people who are corrupt will deal with those who are corrupt. You got a man in a very senior position in the police force who is alleged to have attempted to launder $16.5 million through the police credit union. So if a report of corruption is made to him, what type of action you expect him to take? None. You can't expect him to take action because he himself is corrupt. So he can empathize with those persons. And that tells the story. So you have people who are involved in these activities. They don't have any fear. They don't have any fear. They do it with impunity because even when they're caught, nothing happens. Nothing happens because the cover-up starts. And in moving on, let me tell you this. And Ulrich saying recall the matter at Porica. You talk about Porica, that is with the goal, but I'm not talking about that one. I am speaking about the one at Leonora Police, the Magistrate Court. Leonora Magistrate Court with a detective. And then you know the story about that. The older police remember I had just gone to West Demerara in 93. I was the commander shortly thereafter. And then the man lived at the Amstel area. So you know I live in town, so I got to pass. And then the family and them threatening what they're gonna do with me, and they're gonna do with me because I caused the couple to charge. Allegation made, and I took the action I needed to take. Worry by, let me tell you how I send the message to them. I told them the date and the time that I'm going to pass there. And when they're ready, they can come and let the war start. Yes, Kevin, you are there. Kevin said, what, Kevin? Look in the chat. You're going to see Kevin get the name in the chat. He knows the story because I think Kevin at the time, he was stationed by at Wales, and he had come to Leonora for something. So when I say these things, I'm not making up stories. He was a detective demanding money from a man, and the matter came to my attention. And I did what I had to do as a police officer. I set the trap, catch the scam red-handed with the money. And he was charged, and the family from the Namsel, they're going to kill Slow, they're going to do all sorts of things to Slow. And I say, hey, don't waste your time waiting and looking. I am going to be passing there at X time, and come out, let me war. Come out and let me war if you want to war. So I obviously make sport to that. But let me move on. And then, of course, before I say that, there was several in the division, where I was involved. I remember at one stage, Silal Prasad was a detective officer when an allegation was made against a certain prosecutor from Providence. And I gave him money out of a briefcase. Say, you want money? Give him money. Mark the money and gave it to Silal for letter, give it to the person to give it to. And we caught him red-handed and get trouble. So when these cockroaches come on this program, and the time was Slow and Conway, one man actually said something last week when we talked about traffic. No, with the letter that I wrote, which was published on Sunday, that I was the most corrupt traffic officer there ever was, and that's the crap he talk. And I smiled when I see the thing. I said, just leave them. They just so, anybody who knew me when I was traffic officer will jump right away and tell you, hey, not that Slow. Don't mess with Slow. I had that reputation. Kevin Cook, you call him name. Again, I say these things because when I speak of these incidents, even though I did not call a name, look in the comment. You're going to see people mentioning name because people know that Slow did not encourage, did not tolerate corruption. You get into any corrupt act and it came to my attention, the whole account of the people say, I throw the old brick, they throw the boulder into your chest. Never encourage that type of thing. Now, let me tell you this one before, this is a lighter one, I guess, before we move on. You know, in terms of the giant services, things are falling apart so much. We showed you the other day, let me show you back, just in case. We showed you the other day, the president putting cake in soldiers' mouth, the senior ranks of the army. Here it is, look. The president putting the hand, nasty hand. Look at this one. Somebody told me it's like when you have these baby birds in a nest, and the parent come with the food. That's how they open them out to take the food. Look, these are senior members of the GDF. The president with his bare fingers putting food in the mouth, and they all smiles, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. It is so unhygienic. It is so disgraceful and disrespectful. They don't see nothing wrong with that. But when you think that was all, look what happened just the other night. I think it was Saturday night. This is the flag raising ceremony at Linden to usher in the 58th independence anniversary. Look what's going on here. The heads of service. This one here is the head of the GDF, the head of the police, head of the prison, head of the fire service. They are standing on the stage. When they have to stand on the stage, they are made to stand on the stage while the president is making his address. And I understand the address lasts something like about 35 minutes. Sorry, I said 35 hours. About 35 minutes. And they have to be standing there. And not only that, they have to be standing there. For those people who know me, you know, drill, I came up in the force as a drill instructor. Some people say a master drill instructor. And I say yes, because I was sent to the Ghana Defense Force. And as the saying goes, that was way back. I lick up all the soldiers, drill course. Force police set a policeman to go on this course, and I lick up the soldiers when they come to drill and that type of thing. They couldn't test me. They can't come close to me with that. So when I look at drill, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about drill. And let me tell you something about the course. 1977, I think it was. I went there, and they wrapped me. They give me runner-up best student. And when it was announced, this is at Camp Ayangana headquarters on the drill square there. When it was announced that the police Sergeant Slow was runner-up, the soldiers booed. Let me repeat that. When it was announced, they gave a warrant officer light, best student, and the soldiers booed when it was realized, when they said that Slow was the best student, because everybody know that I was way ahead of everything. And you know, after the court, after the passing out, we went to the senior NCOs club for some refreshment and so on. And I never forget, the Lightbacker was carrying on the functions as commissioner. Vibot Mingo was the Home Affairs minister. And they called me there to congratulate me. And Colonel Pilgrim was the man there. And they confronted Pilgrim. Pilgrim said, you know, we can't get the police come here to beat us and that type of thing. And you know, Lightbacker said, all right. I was a corporal at the time, made to act or made to wear the stripe, 3 stripes to go on the course. And a couple of months after they promote me sergeant, at 21 years old, they promoted me sergeant. So I got to tell these people these things. Now, but look what happened here. Not only the heads of services having to stand on the stage while the president is making a arrest. What? The chief of staff look like he's standing at ease. The commissioner acting, extended squatter look like he's standing at ease. And like these two here don't know how to stand up. So look at this. This is a fireman. He look like he's standing up to attention. This prison man, this is the prison. This is the fireman. He look like he's standing to attention to. There no, that is like, are the standards we're talking about. That is standards we're talking about. What somebody saying that he like that I refer to is our brother. No, his brother. That was his brother. Yeah, your brother. They give your brother. He is not to be blamed. They give him they're student, but the soldiers moved because they know that none of them wasn't close to me. Yeah, so this is what you have. That is what you have. Now, how do you expect these people to be respected? Look at the image. President talking, they stand up there. My information is that the man to the extreme right in the picture, the man from the thing, if it had lasted a minute or two more, he would have fallen down. That's what the people who were there told me. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. If he would, and all these things are described. Never before I have been involved in these parades, all type of parades. The heads of services are provided some seat and they sit there and they listen to whatever address at the meeting. What is the reason for the heads of service standing to attention and at ease on the podium? Is that another attempt to make them look smaller than they really are? That's the only way I can describe that. Coming so closely after you're putting cake in people's mouth with your bare fingers. And then here you're coming, you know, they got to stand up to attention. Well, not to attention. They have to stand on the stage. Unprecedented. Never happened before. Perhaps in the whole world. Because when you see other things, the heads of services are made to sit in a comfortable seat and they think, well, that is what we are. So I thought I'd show you this thing to tell you what is going on in this place called Guyana. And let me go right away because we are already 40 minutes and this other matter that take a long time. But let me ask Mr. Conway if you want to make any comment on that first before I move on. Hold on. This thing giving me a little. Oh, let me bring in Mr. Conway now.
And perhaps they're not learning from, let them, you know, last year they had it at Region 9. And there was they were all seated in the front row. And there was a mysterious woman sitting right among them there. You know, they had no protocol. A mysterious woman was there among them in the front seat. And understand they didn't have cake alone, you know. Understand they had some non-alcoholic wine. And after the wine, understand how the things play out, which I will not disclose on this program.
All right, let me go now. Let me show you. Well, let me read what the release say. I'm telling you now about this. Police say WPA activist Amsterdam arrested for incited murder of head of state, other officials. This is yesterday. No, this is this morning. Sorry, this is this morning. Stabrook News today. Hear what it says. The Guyana Police Force last evening said that Working People's Alliance activist Kidaki Amsterdam has been arrested over the alleged inciting of the murder of President Irfan Ali and other government officials. In a statement, the police said that at about 11 a.m. yesterday, ranks from the Criminal Investigation Department contacted Amsterdam at his recording studio at Annandale, East Coast, Demerara, where he was told of the allegation and arrested. Amsterdam was arrested in relation to 3 cybercrime offenses, including, they say 1A, using a computer system to transmit words spoken by a video that encourages or incites any person to commit an offense of murder against the president and members of the government contrary to Section 18.1 of the Cybercrime Act 16 of 2018. 2, using a computer system to disseminate information knowing same to be false, contrary to Section 19.3 of the Cybercrime Act 16 of 2018. The offenses were allegedly committed against a businessman and others. The police said that according to the Cybercrime Act 1628 of 2018, if convicted on the indictment for the first offense, a person is liable, and they're going to read all them strippers what they write. And then they say the matters are treated very seriously by the police. So in other words, police telling us that they have other matters that they don't treat seriously. And then the article goes on to talk about the WPA. But let me read another part of it. The release stated that yesterday at approximately 10 a.m., detectives from the CID that descended on the home of Amsterdam. He was taken into custody at CID headquarters and held for 2 hours before he was transferred to the Romwell police station, where he is currently being detained. He was informed of the reason for his arrest only after repeated queries by his attorney, Nigel Hughes. According to Hughes, the Guyana police force has now arrested Kidaki Amsterdam of Guyana Morning Time for cybercrime, which report the police say was made weeks ago by Mohamed Kwalanda. There is a pending civil matter between Mohamed Kwalanda and Kidaki Amsterdam. The WPA said that a civil case was brought against Amsterdam following remarks made on the Guyana Morning Times social media broadcast. And they quoted the complainant named by the police, who is known to be a close friend of a high government functionary, has already brought a civil case against Mr. Amsterdam stemming from remarks made on the Guyana Morning Times social media broadcast. That the police are now pursuing criminal charges can only be seen as an attempt to influence the civil matter or to further persecute Amsterdam. The WPA stated that Amsterdam was denied station bail by the police, and as a result, this development is viewed as another presumptuous utilization of the police by the political bosses to harass and intimidate political opponents. That is what they really say. But we got to go into this. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, and then we're going to go into it in detail. As I said, this is the main topic for today, and we're going to dissect it. We're going to go into it in great detail. So, student, take your little refreshment, sit down and relax. Sit down and relax. Cece, your comments, please.
All right, let me just start from the beginning. The arrest of Amsterdam, and do some comparisons. We had Darmlal allegations, I remember what allegations of rape and cybercrime made against him. He was invited to Covanjan police station. According to his lawyer, the police interview him. And then later on, we understand that he was sent away on bail, sum of $500,000. No money was lodged. And if they want to contradict me, let them give me the bail receipt. Let them give me the corrector's cash book statement. Let them give me entries in the bail book. Let them give me entries in the prison's charge sheet, entry in the station diary. Let them give me entry in the daily cash composition book. And here is it. Amsterdam, a report of cybercrime. And he was arrested. And according to the particulars of the what you read, it said, using a computer to transmit words spoken by video that encourages and incites any other person to conduct the offense against president and other members of the government. I wonder who he incited. I wonder who he encouraged. I heard a video, I think it was sometime in February or somewhere, where somebody calling and made some say what should happen to the president and some other people. And I wonder what happened with the person who called in. Or was it a man that they planted to call in to Amsterdam and then later no set it up. Nothing about the man but Amsterdam. And here the other charge, using a computer to disseminate information knowing same to be false. We get in this daily business. Tomorrow you get plenty of that. Knowing same to be false. And there is it. Amsterdam is still in custody. No bail. But Damlal, who a report of rape and cybercrime was made against, was invited and interviewed and later sent on bail, no cash lodge. For Amsterdam was arrested, placed in handcuff, and is still in custody. Yeah? That is what happening. But then we're gonna we're gonna talk more about that. Let me. There's just my opening remarks. What is
Yeah, I have the picture up here with Amsterdam yesterday in handcuff. This is either at CID headquarters or at Rheinfeldt. I'm not sure where it was, but this is the photograph that I saw. Now, let me continue from where my colleague left off. First of all, let me say this. It is true. We know for a fact. Allegation made, serious allegation. The police here, these matters are being treated very seriously. That is what the police said. So therefore, the one with obviously the inference to be drawn is that the Dharamlal matter wasn't treated very seriously because he was never locked up. He was never arrested. He was arrested eventually. He was invited to the police station. The police did not descend on his residence. They invited him to the police station. That is what his lawyer said, and he turned up. Shortly after, he was released on bail. Look at what happened to Amsterdam yesterday. Police descended on his own. Police from CID headquarters. I saw the tape. They lied. They identified themselves as from CID headquarters. They went there to arrest him. Right? They arrested him. They didn't invite him. And this according to their own release. Even though they did not give the date, Mr. Hughes is saying this is something that alleged to have occurred since February of this year. Months ago, this thing happened. Right? Months ago. The businessman that they named, that is named in today's thing, Mohammed Kwalanda, he sued Amsterdam, according to Nigeria, in respect of the same thing, for defamation. Let me tell you, the same defamation, they file what we call a statement of claim, and the persons who filed on behalf of Kwalanda are PDP Member of Parliament Sanjeev Datadin and Khalif Gobin. They are the ones who filed this civil lawsuit, this statement of claim against Amsterdam. So but I can't understand that you file a civil lawsuit against Amsterdam and then police now arresting the man, giving in custody in respect to the same matter. This thing is unbelievable. Unbelievable, or as an old officer of mine would have said, he would have described it even better because he would have put in the adjective something unbelievable. That is what he would have said. Now let me go to a next point. Hear what I say here, I'll tell you all this morning, sit back and relax, Sit back and relax. Mr. Conway made the right point. That the next thing is that they released, in this release yesterday, it was accompanied by a short video where someone made some statement that I believe the statement might have been inappropriate. But during the statement, during this little video that the police released, Amsterdam is quiet, is silent. He did not say a single word. So how do you incite, how do you encourage when you ain't say nothing? How do you incite? Somebody is making, let me, for argument's sake, someone is making inflammatory remarks. And you, the person who is there, you choose to stay silent. Choose to stay silent. You don't agree with them. You don't disagree with them. You keep your mouth shut. And you're saying because of that, I am culpable. A man making statements in my presence. I ain't say nothing. And I am culpable. But I can't understand. Look, and let me say this. I can jump around a little because as the thoughts occur to me, I got to reveal them. I have some notes, but things are going to come at me. I have some notes. Let me say this. I am sorting. I am sure. I am willing to bet. I am willing to wager big that the fact that Mr. Amsterdam Kadaki was arrested yesterday, some months after this allegation was made, the police would have been directed to do so. Let me repeat that. The fact that Kidaki Amsterdam is arrested months after this allegation is said to have been made, when a civil lawsuit emanates from these allegations, they had to get direction to do so. They were instructed to do so. And the unfortunate thing is that these incompetent people that we have there as police officers, once they get instructions, they are not, they're not capable of dissecting, they're not capable of analyzing, they're not capable to see that, look, whether this thing is legal or not. They're going to jump to it. And let me say further, such a direction or instruction ain't coming from Camp Street, it ain't coming from Rab Street, it ain't coming from Brickdam. In my view, such a direction coming from Carmichael Street. Let me say that again. Such a direction to arrest Amsterdam coming from Carmichael Street. I am sure about that. I am sure about that. But let me move on again before I bring in Mr. Conway. This thing sweet, you know. And I say that in a kind of a way, not that sweet in terms of a man being in custody for something like this. When Damlal, an accused rapist, accused buggerer, accused cybercrime bully, the lady thing. They talk about no evidence or what I said, some type of thing to describe. But they don't tell you what happened to the cyberbullying charge or the cyberbullying allegation made by the same woman. They ain't saying nothing about that. And when you talk about cyberbullying, as my colleague said just now, Bara Jagdio on the program, what you call press conference, and I call him name, man. Let us assume if they want, because these are facts. On the program, the press conference, what he called Cathy Hughes a low life. That is cyberbullying. He then recalling Rickford Burke and others criminals, people who have never been convicted of any code, at the time not even charged by any offense. Barack Jagdio is there calling people these names. And that is not cyberbullying. That is not cybercrime. Anil Nandlal, the Attorney General, on the 29th of June, 2021, went on issues on the news on NCN. He called me a Bajan in reference to some notorious criminal from Trinidad. I know Bajan, I know criminal. He said that people like me have no place in a society governed by the rule of law. That is what Nandalal said. Like he came into court, because I get the recording, his own voice, right? And he can't do like Kwame McCoy when the Julius tape circulated and surfaced, where it is alleged that it was his voice soliciting sex from a teenage boy. And he said, well, the voice wasn't you. Nandalal can't do that. God, the thing is there. And this is the only voice. This is the video recording of him making these statements. And do you know that on the 15th of October 2021, in company with my lawyer, Selwyn Peters from Canada, and Conway, who is here now on this program, I went to Brickdam Police Station and I made a cybercrime report against Anil Nandalal. And up to now, nothing had happened. Up to now, nothing had happened. Nothing. And before I bring in Mr. Conway again, let me say this. They say that one of the offenses Amsterdam arrested for is using a computer system to transmit words spoken by a video. That's what they say, words spoken by a video that encourages, incite persons to commit an offense of murder against president and members of the government. This is thing. Well, let me say this. Back in 2017, a man by the name of Andrew Gillard went to the police and made a report that a man, can't remember his first name now, Nizam Khan, I think it is, approached him, Gillard, and offered him a sum of money to kill the president, Granger, or to get someone else to do the job to kill President Granger. 2017, Silal Prasad was the commissioner of police. Wendell Blanham was the crime chief, as he is now. Clifton Akin at the time, now the extended squatter, was the commander A division. And what happened? They did nothing. Listen to this. A man turned up and said, hey, a man paying me money for kill the president. And he said that if I can't do it, I must get someone else to do it. He went and he made the report to the police. First, he went to Pushy around. He went to the office of the president. They sent him to Brickdam. He went to Brickdam. Brickdam sent him over. Oh, not must sent him over. Brickdam called the commander and told them, no, sorry. They called the crime chief. Crime chief called the commander. The commander sent the detective officer in charge of A division to Brickdam to get this man. He brought the man to the commander's office, Akin's office. And they did nothing. All he can do is send the man up to CID headquarters. He claimed that he never even asked the man any question or anything like that. I know the details because I was asked to conduct the inquiry. Watch out the report here. This is the hard copy. And I have electronic copies. And if anybody wants a copy, last week when I told you all, if you want a copy of Justice Sandil Kisoon ruling, just let me get your email and I'll send it to you. Right? If you want a copy of this report, electronic, there's no secret to it. It was tabled and all sort of thing. Send me your email address. Make contact with me. I will send you a copy of the report, and you will see what transpired when an allegation was made of an attempt to kill President Granger. Now here we have. Here you have somebody that said on a computer making thing. And they gone and arrest Amsterdam, and Koff is in custody up to now. 11 o'clock, so more than 24 hours have passed, and he's still in custody. Let me bring in Mr. Conway before I go on. We have a lot to talk. CC, go ahead.
And let me pick up from you there in terms of Amsterdam in custody. No bail. And if you look at the Bail Act 2022, assented to by Mohammed Irfan Ali. I didn't see they put no doctor. Maybe he wasn't a doctor then. On the 15th of November 2022. And here we say about police bail. Section 4.1. Where a person is taken into custody for an offense without a warrant. A police officer, if it will not be practicable to bring that person before a magistrate within 24 hours after the person is taken into custody, shall inquire into the case, and if the offense is not one punishable with imprisonment, shall grant the person bail with every convenient speed. And B, if the offense is one punishable with imprisonment, may, unless the offense is a serious offense, grant that person bail as soon as practicable. So the law talking about police bail, and they say within 24 hours, you can't put him in front of a magistrate. And if the matter is not punishable imprisonment with convenient speed, I'm surprised they didn't say breakneck speed. And B, if the offense is one punishable with imprisonment, may, unless the offense is serious nature, grant the person bail as soon as practicable. Operative words, convenient speed and as soon as practicable. And then if you look at section 2, I wouldn't really go into details. It's saying that after 72 hours, either you got to release a person, or if you see the 72 hours coming up and you know you won't finish your investigation, you can go before a judge and ask for extension. Ask for the matter to ask for extension so you can keep him longer. But bail, as a station sergeant, as a sub-division officer, and as a commander, when I had a chance to deal with bail, there are certain points that I used to consider. And one, gravity and the nature of the charge, the weight of evidence. You ask yourself, will the prisoner attend court or will he report to the police as detailed? The status of the accused. Will the granting of bail, and this one is important, defeat the ends of justice? Will the prisoner interfere with the witnesses? Does he have a normal place of abode? And last but not least, you need to be judged, you need to be guided by the Constitution and the laws of Guyana. And the laws of Guyana saying that the person must get bail, and they only condition in the Act number 2022, telling you what must be done. But here it is, Kadaki languishing in jail after the last report I got at the Romville police station. And later on, I'm going to tell you about the conditions at the Romville police station. But over back to you, Paul.
Yeah, one of these amphibians come on just so you make a comment, say that me and you should explain to our uneducated and rapist supporters what is cybercrime. Well, we haven't got it. But Abani right away, I don't put up with them type of show. Uneducated. Who can be more uneducated than those people who are on that show with them cussing out every morning? Every morning they cussing out people, and that is not a cybercrime. Your vice president cussing out people, and that is not a cybercrime. When you're asking us to explain what is a cybercrime, you're asking us to explain what is a cybercrime. I ain't got to explain that any further, but we know that what they're claiming arrested Mr. Amsterdam for cannot be a cybercrime. This is the matter where the complainant, according to what Mr. Hughes is saying, he said yesterday morning when they inquired from the police why Amsterdam is arrested. Here when they say Guyana police force has now arrested Kidaki Amsterdam of Guyanese morning for a cybercrime, which report the police say was made weeks ago by Mohammed Kwalanda. There is a pending civil matter between Mohammed Kwalanda and Kidaki Amsterdam, a matter filed since February, I think it was. In respect to the same thing, Amsterdam on his program alleged that this oil spill, recent oil spill off Tobago, with his boat consigned with some fuel to GPL, he called Kwalanda name and said the thing belongs to Kwalanda. Kwalanda denied that and has sued him for $5 million through his attorney, PPP Member of Parliament, Sanjeev Dattadin. Sued Kadaki on behalf of Mohammed Kwalanda. So I am saying, without any fear of contradiction, I am no liar, but if the man sue you in respect to the same matter, how can the police not be pursuing criminal charges in relation to that? Because that is what, when they spoke to Mr. Nigel Hughes yesterday morning, there was nothing about inciting violence against president and government ministers. Nothing about that. There was nothing. It's not until last night they gave some release to talk about using computer system to disseminate information known seem to be false and all of that. That is what has transpired. That is what they do. And the Attorney General like to talk about the rule of law. The rule of law doesn't exist in Guyana. Let me tell you what the rule of law says. I made a note of the definition for the rule of law. They said the rule of law is a principle under which all persons, institutions, and entities as to be expected, we're getting some interference, right? Independently adjudicated and consistent with international human rights principles. That is what the rule of law is. And therefore, if you examine what is going on in Guyana, the rule of law doesn't apply in Guyana. Animal farm. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, right? Let me understand this thing clearly. Now, you might And they say in this thing, let me read again. I tell you, we get enough to talk about. It says the the complaint named by the police, who is known to be a close friend of a high government functionary, has already brought the report was made weeks ago by Mr. Mohammed Kolanda, and they say he's a friend of the PPP. Well, more than that, do you know that the building which currently houses CID headquarters and vicinity, that building is owned by the same businessman? A few weeks ago, police received what they call a modern crime scene vehicle. Police. There's a picture in the news with the vehicle key being handed over to Ropes. Useless, wasteless Ropes. Minister of Home Affairs. Check and see. The same businessman, somebody remarked in the comment, used to be a friend, to come to me with some proposal for me to try to make arrangement for me to meet with Nandalal. Both of them denied. Both of them denied, but I have the records. I got the place, the time that the meeting took place. He is the man that sent to talk to me. And we met in Middle Street to arrange for a meeting between me and Nandalal. And let me say this: I have never spoken to Nandalal. You might believe it, but that is true. I have never had a conversation that I can recall with him, either over the phone or otherwise. I've never, sorry, I made a mistake then. The only conversation I can recall having with him, and forgive me for missing this, is when the Butas, they challenged the it's bubbling again here. Give me a thumbs up. Please, I am begging you. Show your appreciation. Show your appreciation. So again, I say the rule of law does not apply in Guyana. And let me address Mr. Conway spoke to it a little while, telling me that I'm breaking up. So it's easy me telling me I'm breaking up, so I'm going to allow you to come in for a while and then see if things are going to be sorted out. I know that you are having a bite, so once you finish, yeah, everybody tell me interruptions again. That is not unexpected. That is not unexpected. I expect them to come all the time and to try to stop this broadcast. They're going to do all manner of things to prevent the truth from being told. But I am not going to be discouraged. I'm not going to be deterred. I'm going to make sure that we come here and we tell you the truth. So CC, please come in and tell and carry on for a while, because I'm going to see what I can resolve this craziness going on. Please go ahead. Mr. Conway, can you hear me? Again, so let me know if you're hearing me. Hold on, let me see.
You're breaking. You're
You said
breaking
I'm
up.
breaking up?
Yeah.
Well, see, you carry on for a while and let me start it out. You carry on.
All right. You know what they're doing? They're weaponizing this thing they call bail, and they're using it as a punishment. Kidaki is there in the Rumvelt lockups, the last thing that I got this morning. And let me lay the foundation. They recently do some reconstruction work at the Rumvelt police station. They said to make it as a modern station. But what's been happening is that, remember, they said somebody had a piece of sponge, a piece of wire, and a lighter, and he used it to burn down most of the buildings in Brickdam compound. I think right now they're doing some work there, some preliminary work to put up some 12 or 13-story building. So what is happening is that the lockups at Brickdam is not in operation. So all the prisoners from Brickdam, East Rumvelt, East La Penitence, Tango male prisons, are sent to Rumvelt police station. And it's overcrowded, and where Kidaki is, it is in a inhuman state. It is unfit right now for persons to be in those lockups. The toilets ain't working, and they're overflowing. Understand, the prisoners, they're giving them plastic bottle to urinate. They defecating in their cells. The condition is horrible there. And I hope that the Guyana Human Rights Association pay a visit down there. It's terrible condition. I'm holding no brief for Kudaki. Kudaki is well represented. But I'm talking about the lockups at the Rumvelt police station. Horrible, overcrowded, the toilets and flowing. Persons got to urinate in bottles in lockups there. And yet still, they're not sending people on bail. They're not sending Kadaki on bail. And apart from that, too, the way how the lockups are constructed, there are some peepholes. Ventilation is poor. And I wouldn't be surprised if things happen to Kedaki. Understand they have issues with his meals. They decided that one person must bring meal for him. And the person can't see him. So what they're doing is I say this, but this, and he can't see the point that this body brought meals for you. Kidaki has gotta be careful. We know what happened in Lethem lockups. A man hung himself in the lockups. We are OPR investigating nothing. Then we jump to Wim. Another man hanging lockups with a piece of his jersey. Yes, sir. And Kidaki has got to be careful what he eat and with who is there. They might plant people in there to do things to him. And they are not sending him on any bail whatsoever. My guess is that they're going to wait for 72 hours. And after the 72 hours, is either they charge him or they send him away on bail. And the charges are so flimsy that they can't stand. And when you look at the cybercrime, all the persons, apart from a woman from West Dem, Randa, who they call by, all the cybercrime cases have been dismissed. And they're finishing at no case submission. And here is again, you have Kidaki on a cybercrime charges, and I'm certain, based on the face of it, that is going to finish at no case submission. But what people got to do is that after the case is dismissed, sue the government for malicious prosecution, take them to court, challenge the status quo. That's what we have to do. And this thing with Kidas is prosecution, is PPPC, is police, is politics, is persecution and corruption, and it's political interference with the Ghana police force. Paul said that he's certain that the directions coming from Carmichael Street. I won't be surprised, because when they give us Trump of charge for conspiracy to defraud over $10 million, the directions came from Camp Street, from Carmichael Street, and then they directed the office by N. Robert Walk to prosecute us. And even when we were arrested, the commissioner then, I got to repeat it, happy, but he wasn't commissioner, he was performing the duties of commissioner, he wasn't acting, told me when I called him, he said, this here is political, and I can't send you on bail. And my contact called a government minister, not the Home Affairs minister, and I have the records, I have the recordings, where the minister said that he's going to send Karim Bash, he's going to direct Karim Bash to send us on our own recognizance. And within about 20 minutes, two persons from Karim Bash's office came and put us on our own recognizance. And I want to believe similar facts is the same thing happening with Kadaki, Amsterdam. And it's time we put a stop to this. It's time that persons get involved and take some proper legal actions to bring this persecution to an end. I'll stop there. Are you there, Paul?
Please telling me no audio. No audio. That's what they're saying. They're saying no audio. Are you hearing me now? Let me switch. Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you.
Good. Well, if you're hearing me, the others can hear me. I did something wrong. We are hearing you now. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Now I was about to talk about this 72 hours. Now that is being abused by the police. There is no law. You know, a policeman reached out to me, I think it was yesterday, and he wanted me to give some clarification on this 72-hour law. Now what it is, they are telling people that you have to be kept in custody for 72 hours before you is. They're saying it is that a person, you cannot keep a person in custody for more than 72 hours. You have to charge them. So for in time, and Mr. Conway read the bail act. For the time you get a person in custody, bail should be considered. You have to consider putting that person on bail for certain offenses. This cybercrime law is a bailable offense, any allegation. Now, what it is that if you can't conclude, if you arrest a person and you can't conclude the investigation within 72 hours, the person must be sent on bail. You must either charge a person, or you have to go to the high court to get permission to keep a person in custody for more than 72 hours. Let me say that again. When you arrest a person, assess whether the person should go on bail. In the case of Mr. Amsterdam, this is an allegation, according to what they're saying, that was made over 2 months ago. So there's no question that he can interfere with the investigation program every morning, Monday to Friday, Buxton and a guy this morning time. They know his address. They went there yesterday. So it's not a case where he's a flight risk, where he's going to escape. There's not a question where he can interfere with the witnesses. So he had to have been considered for bail almost immediately. Remember, Dharmlal bail right away. And if I take you back to 2017, when they arrest, I think it was Nizam Khan, the man name, who is alleged to have been offering money to assassinate Mr. Granger within 3 hours. As I said, they're going to send for the report. If you're going to send for the report, let me know your. I want to know who what's the next cockroach coming. But you know, tell you I'm the cockroach. I'm the exterminator. Oh shit. I am the exterminator. Why you did not do that? It is so ridiculous that the man accused of some common assault. I'm referring to the Chow Pao incident. accused of common assault is kept in custody for 72 hours, even when he complained of feeling unwell and had to be taken to the doctor. They took him to the doctor and took him back to the lockups. So that is what is happening. And again, we say, Daimler, the man didn't spend a minute in the lockups. No handcuff was ever put on him. We never saw a mock shot of Dharamlal. Never took They're gonna try. They're gonna try. CC can't hear me, which means let me try you the settings again and see if I can try to beat them. I'm trying to beat them all the time, you know. I'm trying to beat them all the time. So let me see. I'm fiddling around with it. Are you hearing me now, CC?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so saying a person must be kept in custody for 72 hours before bail can be granted. And the thing we talk about food, I have never ordered before where police telling people, as alleged this morning, that only a particular body. Remember Kizorski? Kizorski is the man who public hospital cooperation, and he went to the hospital there feeling unwell, and the man passed out. Up to now, they can't explain how the man died. I don't think the postmortem examination was conclusive. So, Brother Amsterdam, and people are going to tell him, I don't know if he can hear or something turned up loud enough. Don't eat no food from them. Don't eat no food that you're not sure about. Don't. If for any reason somebody got to pass something into you, make sure it's sealed. You break the seal yourself. Don't take any chances. These people are wicked. They are desperate. Wicked and desperate. So make sure you look after yourself, my brother. Stay without food for 3-4 days. You can't get. Stay without food. Don't even drink the water. Don't even drink the water. Be extremely, extremely careful. Be extremely careful. Right? See anything else from you on this matter?
Yeah, but you're breaking up. Are you
they're
hearing
gone
me?
again, no?
Are you hearing me clearly? You're breaking up.
Somebody said we need a Dover. I don't know if you're hearing me, Cece, or if you're hearing me. I am hearing you clearly, so you carry on. You carry
Okay.
on.
All right.
I am hearing you clearly, so you carry on.
Okay, let me just go over back this or put some more light to this 72 hours thing. Let's look at the letter and the spirit of the law. And the same Bail Act number 2022. And the heading is police bail. I'm gonna go over it again. It really saying that if you arrest anybody with charge and within 24 hours, you should really put them before the magistrate. But if it's not practicable, for them to go in front of the magistrate within 24 hours. And if the offense is punishable, if the offense is not punishable, you can carry no jail sentence, no imprisonment. You should put them on bail and the term they use with convenient speed. With convenient speed. And if it carries in imprisonment, you grant them bail as soon as practicable. So, one, if the offense doesn't carry imprisonment, with convenient speed, you send them on bail. And if it carries imprisonment, you grant bail as soon as practicable. If for some reason, and you have to get a good reason, the thing got to be reasonable, that you have to keep them for some while, you can't keep them for more than 72 hours. So it is not a given that if I arrest you, I must give you 72 hours. If you want to give them more than 72 hours, you have to go before a high court with your reasons why it should be extended. Let me repeat myself. Let go over again for some people who might not understand it. You arrest somebody, you charge them within 24 hours in front of magistrate. If for some reason you can't make the 24 hours, and the offense is one that does not carry imprisonment, the law say with convenient speed, you put them on bail. And B, if it carries imprisonment, you send them on bail as soon as practicable. If you have to keep them longer in excess of 24 hours, but you can't keep them in excess of 72 hours. Anything in excess of 72 hours has to go before a high court and seek approval. But it's not a given that as long as I arrest you, I am empowered to keep you there for 72 hours and then release you on bail. No. That isn't the intention of the law. And that's perhaps as simple as I could put it, Paul.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me come back again. I'm getting difficulties, and if it continues, we'll have to abort again. Well, I can't come tomorrow if we abort today, maybe. And even I don't know when it's going to be, but you'll have to stay tuned for whenever we are going to come again. And as I say, let me again. I don't know if you are hearing me, but if you don't hear me, I'm going to cut short the program today, and we are going to deal with it some other day. I can't say when. It appears as though things are working fairly okay now. So if you can hear me, somebody say you're hearing me. And what Mr. Conway said about the 72 hours, that is what it is. But this thing is now weaponized. It's now weaponized. And let me say further. The fact that they over 400, I understand, 400 to 500 ranks. I've just left the job. I've resigned. I'll just move on. Even early this year, you can recall the extended squatter telling the country that one of the difficulties they have is to attract and retain suitable ranks. And so I had to laugh last week over the weekend. I see they had a batch of 28 ranks from graduated and they make big splash. 28 new policemen. Why is 28 new policemen? When I graduated from training school in 1974, the squad was 250 something of us. One time, 250 something of us. And these people making a big splash now when 28 people graduate. Let them look to see how long. They should do surveys and monitoring. Let me see how long they can remain in the force. Because people not remaining anytime now in the force. Because once they come in and they want the remunerations, and some of them, and let me understand, they get some people come in with good intentions, but some people can't take the corruption, so they move on. Some people stay in because they are part of the corrupt process. So that's what's going on. They have weaponized the ASCAL, they have weaponized the Cybercrime Act. And let me tell you this. It was asked of me. This is an article in December 19, 2022. December 19, 2022. Cybercrime Act to be repealed. That is what the Attorney General Anil Nandalal said. Having strongly objected to the says that plans are in the works to have it repealed, and it will be replaced by a modern act formed out of information and communication technologies. For Attorney General said it will be a model cybercrime bill for the CARICOM region. That bill will meet modern international standards. That is an admission that the current cybercrime bill does not meet modern international standards. That is what he's saying. The bill will meet modern international standards. It is the UN that is setting that example. So nobody can fault us. This one will be repealed. And the Attorney General Anil Nandalal told Stabrook News yesterday, and yesterday would have been the 18th of December, 2022. That's when he was contacted for an update. So, I mean, again, this cockroach will come and ask about, explain why cybercrime. Nandalal said the current act, Nandalal, does not meet international standard. That is what is implied. Because here again, so for those, well, I can't say the roaches because it has knocked them off. So he might not be here. It will be a model cybercrime bill for the CARICOM region. That bill, referring to the current bill, will meet, sorry, he said that bill to come will meet modern international standards. Meet modern international standards. So therefore, he is saying, he's implying that the current bill does not meet modern international standards. It's English language. That is English language. And again, they're weaponizing it. And it must be fair. People warned the coalition government, you know. It was Kemra Jamtatan who I think piloted this bill. And he was warned. They were warned that this bill is a dangerous bill. Do not go ahead. They went ahead. They never charged anybody under this bill, you know, the coalition or the police when the coalition was in office. Of course, the police wasn't as weaponized as it is now. So no one was ever charged under the Cybercrime Act during those days. But look what has happened now. Sherrod Duncan and his program referred to someone as a jagabat, cybercrime charge. Minister Ferguson, former Minister Ferguson, member of Parliament, made some comment about the current chief of staff. The man said he became emotionally involved, emotionally affected. He made a complaint to the police. She's charged with cybercrime. Deanne Boscombe, a whistleblower, talks about the corruption of the major crime unit, where he alleged that the man in charge of major crime, Caesar, collected some $30 million to cover up paper shards murder, cybercrime charges in your skin. That is what is going on. And I would not be surprised if very soon they're going to tell me that they're charging me for cybercrime charge. I am afraid of nothing. I am going to continue to tell the truth. And if the truth is affecting you, that is not on me, that is on you. I will continue to speak truth to power. I will continue to speak truth to power. So they're just weaponizing. And let me say further. Sometimes I have to blame the attorneys and so on. A matter like this, you have to move to the court with alacrity. filed some motion. One, they're criminalizing a man, the case based on what they told Mr. Hughes. The man took civil action against Mr. Amsterdam. Civil action. The matter is pending before the court. And they're now saying that they arresting him in respect to the same allegation. Now they're going to say, well, there are other allegations as well. And the next thing I don't want you people to miss, what's information? The next thing I don't want you people to miss is that yesterday, when the statement was released by the police, it was accompanied by this tape. In other words, it was accompanied by what they want to show is the evidence. Well, thanks, Umi, because they say the glitching has stopped. So this tape was accompanied by evidence. Imagine the police force has gotten to the stage where evidence in an investigation, evidence in criminal charges are released to the media. Recall the Sormars murder, where the alleged perpetrator made a video recording, what they call a confession video recording, that was given to newsroom. The same newsroom said that they saw the statement from the man's wife, which contradicts other statement, a statement of a witness in a murder charge. Now you have the recording, which is, I suspect, is the main evidence in this cybercrime charge, is released to the media. Is released to the media. And you want to tell me that these people are not incompetent, they are not weaponized? Never in the history here your evidence is released to the media. Never. And it is released selectively. Well, the last night one, I believe it sent to the media. But when they release things are released to newsroom. Things are released to NCN, selective releases. Guyana Times, selective releases. Right? And you want to tell me that these people are professional and competent? The corporate propaganda unit headed by Mark Ravatar, that is what they're doing. That is what they're doing, giving these releases. And when you look at what they release, a lot of crap they're releasing to the public. And note, Amsterdam was arrested, according to them, about 11 o'clock yesterday. It was not until late yesterday afternoon, last evening, hours passed before they came out, when questions were asked of them, what is the issue? What? They can't tell you what it is. Then they come up with this cockable story down at the end that some 2 months ago, some report was made. So if a report was made 2 months ago, what action you took then? And let me say this too. I'm fired up. If a report was made 2 months ago, 2 months ago report made, attacking police in here now, 2 months ago, it means you have 2 months to investigate. Logically, therefore, when you arrest Amsterdam yesterday, you ought to have been able to pass him before the court right away, because it's 2 months you are. So what are you keeping him in custody for? Having other report made to you according to your own release. 2 months ago, sometime in February, this report was made. You never made any attempt to contact Amsterdam. Let's assume, therefore, you conducted an investigation in that 2 months. You go to arrest Amsterdam yesterday. Yesterday, Tuesday, the 28th, you go to arrest him. You ought to have been able to arrest him and take him to court immediately, because you have 2 months to do your investigation and to make sure that you put together a case. But this is just prosecution. You're arresting now, and then you're going to tell people that you have to continue investigation, and you're going to wait till 72 hours. I am bringing this thing to your attention for you to be able to analyze it further. So don't just look at the release that they give. Look at it holistically. Report made in February. I'm aware that the man who Mr. Nigel Hughes mentioned, Mohammed Kwalanda, filed a civil lawsuit against Kidaki Amsterdam. I think it was in February of this year. Some time ago, he filed a lawsuit. I'm not sure about the exact time frame, but a lawsuit is filed against Amsterdam by Mohammed Kwalanda, demanding or asking $5 million or something like that. February. Report made. Now, if you wanted to investigate, which you couldn't, you can't investigate this criminally when the man took action and brought civil lawsuit. And that is what they're calling cybercrime now. It's civil matters. If a man come on the TV and the man defame me, the man come on the TV and the man say something to hurt my feelings, take him to court, sue the person, take him before the civil court. But no, they're not doing it. They're not doing that. They come and they weaponize this cybercrime act. We say cybercrime. And Mr. Conway right. How many convictions they get? One, Rhonda was cowboyed over the river. And I don't know they have had any other one who was tried and convicted for cybercrime. But again, I say to you, if this report is made in February, you had a lot of time to investigate. You didn't arrest him then. You arrested him. You get all this time elapsed. And now you come to say you are arresting. Fine. So if you arrest now after 2 months, then you ought to be able to take the person to court right away. And I note too that this video that they have circulated, where this man is making what they refer to as incendiary remarks, they're not telling you when this video was made, you know, which is significant. Which means that they're covering something, which tells me that this might have been made some time ago. But we now they come, having gotten instructions from Carmichael Street, to say they're going to arrest Amsterdam. But let me tell you this. You see, I'm wearing my dashiki. I should have mentioned it earlier. The dashiki that I'm wearing is in solidarity with Kadaki because he wears this type of clothing. I am fully supportive of Kadaki. Fully supportive of the brother. Because this is a clear case of persecution. This is a clear case of the police being weaponized to go after persons who are seen, who are perceived to be, well, Kodaki not perceived. Kodaki is an opposition, he's a member of the WPA, which is the opposition party, so they go after you. And again, let me remind you, Miss Ak, not the one by Rabbit Walk, the one who made the rape allegation and cyberbullying allegation against Dharam Lal. She alleged cyberbullying against Dharam Lal. And you're not hearing anything about that. They talk about the rape, all the inconsistencies and all of that. And I said then, and I'm repeating again, based on what Mandel Moore, the police legal advisor, told them in that case, they did not conduct an investigation. They conduct an inquiry, a preliminary inquiry, because when you're talking about credibility of witness and all of that, that is something for the court to decide. Police don't decide on credibility of witness. Police take statement from you, try to clarify as much as they can, and at the end of the day, you put up your report, you might make conclusions in your report. But in terms of determining whether the witness is credible or not, there's a matter for the magistrate. Because the credibility has to come, the persons has to go there, swear to give evidence or make an affirmation, and then is the court can decide how credible that person is. But no, we get to the stage now where police deciding whether the witness is credible or not, and therefore Dharam Lal can be charged. And in the face of the law, this flies in the face of the law, Section 41 of the Sexual Offences Act, makes it clear that when the investigation, Part 3 deals with the investigation, and it says that once a report of is made under the act of rape, police have to take the report. They say they must take the report. Then they say once they take the report, they have to conduct an investigation. And within 3 months of the report, they have to file a charge or send the file to the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice. But this time around, 2 weeks after the report is made, Mandel Moore, the police legal advisor, can conclude that there are inconsistencies and all sort of nonsense, so no charge should be brought. So he is usurping the functions of the DPP. And still I'm saying a lot of people, too many people are silent, because by now, a private criminal charge should have been filed against Nandalal. Mandel Moore was used to shield the DPP. That is my view. He was used to shield the DPP. So they have sent it to the DPP this time, even though the law dictates, the law says it must. It's a command, it must be done. They have sent it to the DPP. You know why? Because if she were to say what Mandel Moore said, it's going to be a public outcry. So they use this Mandel Moore to say, well, he has no such legal authority, none whatsoever, under the Cybercrime Act. And then when they talk about alibi and they talk about all of that, This Cybercrime Act, Section 69, says that there's no need for corroboration. Wait, Mandelmore, don't read these things. This Cybercrime Act came into being in 2010. You want to tell me Mandelmore, the police legal advisor, and read to see what the law say before you write that stupidness? And the lawyers, and I have a lot of respect for the lawyers around. Some of them I consider them friends, but many of them are taking too long. Because by now, all right, they want to shield Aliak, the Director of Public Prosecution, file a private criminal charge unless she discontinued. Let her show her colors. File a private criminal charge in respect to the rape allegation, in respect to the cyberbullying, and let her discontinue, let her show her colors. Let me bring in Mr. Conway, man, because they might start to disrupt me again just now. I had a good run there now. They might want to disrupt me. CDC, continue with this matter, man.
Let me make the point. Let me support you. That is in February. Allegations against what they're saying against Kadaki. Arrested him. Up to now, they can't complete the investigation. And on the other side, the woman made allegation of rape and cyberbullying. And within 2 weeks, buddy, within 2 weeks, having invited the accused to the station and interview him and do I know his investigation or whatever do, right? And then the Mandelmore talk about the road about cooperation, which is not required. We know that sometimes cooperation is required as a matter of practice and a matter of law. But in this Sexual Offences Act, it is not required. It is a no-no. It is a no-no. So within 2 weeks, Mandelmore took up the role of the DPP and said, no. Let this man go long way. Let him go long way free because of inconsistency and other things there. Double standard because Kidaki is a politician. The other man is a politician too. He's a politician too. But he is with the government of the day. And the government of the day giving political directions to the police force. And I'm certain they had given their political directions there. Don't worry, this man, don't charge you for the second time, despite the allegation made against him, despite of the similar facts doctrine can come into play. Say no. But the main point is February report against Kidaki, and up to now they can't complete investigation, they can't charge him, and within 2 weeks report of rape and cyberbullying against Damlal, and they don't conclude the information, they don't come to the conclusion, hey, we ain't get anything here to charge him. Double standard, Animal Farm at play.
Double standard at Animal Farm. Let me say this. I may have made 2 errors. This student telling me when I refer to Section 41 and Section 69, I'm referring to the Sexual Offences Act. If I said anything else, I'm correcting myself. And then another student tell me I said Anil when I mean Dharamlal. So the allegations of rape by Ms. Ak and cyberbullying is against Dharamlal. So if I said anything else, my apologies to those the person whose name I may have mentioned, but that is what I meant. So you have double standard Animal Farm, right? So that's what we have. So let's all look to see what is going to happen with Kidaki. He has already completed 24 hours. I believe that an application should have already been made to the High Court in respect to this matter. I know Mr. Hughes is not going to miss anything like that. So In closing, I want to say that we are following to the plight of the residents of Linden. You know, Linden is flooded out. A lot of suffering, we understand. This matter with Kidaki has taken up so much time. It deserves to take up a lot of time. That some other issues we have not been able to discuss this morning, like the visit of the congressman, Mr. Jackson, seems to have backfired on the government who brought him, and took paid operatives to paint a picture that things are so well. Yesterday, things unfolded in Mocha, where the people were able to express themselves. Because they sent Kwame Mackay to accompany the congressman. And Kwame Mackay was telling people that they have a minute or something. I said, no, this is like a kitchen discussion. Let the people say what they want to say. So next week, when we meet again, next week Wednesday, we come Monday. I have a busy period between now and Wednesday. I would have loved to come again tomorrow. I can't. I have engagements. Friday, I get doctor and other engagements. Monday, I have engagements as well. So it's still, as it is now, next Wednesday. Again, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to like the page on Facebook. So if we decide to come earlier, we're going to put out the notification and you're going to get the message. So let me ask Mr. Conway to make some closing remarks, and then we're going to close today's program and come again at some future stage. CC, your closing remarks, please.
Yeah, as you said, the Karaki matter was of and still is of great importance, and maybe that's why we spend a whole lot of time for that. Paul, we didn't even get a chance to look at the madness that is happening on the road, the road accidents and all kind of thing. But we will stay in touch, and if other things come up and we gotta come back on the air, we will. But for now, it looks like Wednesday.
Right, as I say, keep tuned, stay tuned. If we have to come, something comes up. Again, I have a very tight schedule between now and then. So if I can squeeze in some time, we will do that. If I can squeeze in some time. And again, I want to thank you for your patience, your attention, especially since we had interruptions again at some stage, and you stayed in the class. You stayed in the class, and my apologies. We have no control over that. They do everything trying to prevent the truth from reaching the people, including what they did with the congressman. They tried to send the plants to paint a particular type of story. And the man was experienced and sensitive enough to shut them down. So let me hear from the people. Let me hear from the people. That is what I am here for. So, folks, as Mr. Conway said, so many other things that we wanted to bring to your attention, we could not because time is against us. So all I can say now, I advise you to follow the channel in case there is a breaking news and we need to come to you before Wednesday. But as it is now, God spare life. We will see you again on Wednesday for another episode of Speaking Out, exposing corruption and incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.